Hey guys, Demo here at Perfect Gaming Guides, bringing you another complete walkthrough for a really easy 1000 gamer score. Today we're playing Venba, a cooking based puzzle game with an interesting and heartfelt story. Venba is currently available for free on Xbox Game Pass if you're on PC or Xbox, and there are 15 achievements. These can all be done in just around the hour mark, as you can see from the length of the video. There are a few cumulative achievements. One is for getting all the recipes correct first time, and the other is for reading all of the recipe help text, which I'll cover once we reach the first one. If you do happen to miss any of these achievements guys, you can mop those up using the chapter select after you complete the game. Okay, let's jump in and grab those achievements. There are quite a lot of cutscenes in this game guys. You can't skip any of them, but they do help you understand the game better and the story behind it, so they are actually worth watching. I've just clicked through them as quick as I could here, but feel free to take the time to read through them guys in your own playthrough. Our first cooking task is to make some idlis. We start by clicking on the red recipe book. This usually gives us at least part of the solution, but as you will see it's damaged, so parts are missing, and this is the puzzle part of the game. Down at the bottom of the screen there is a question mark. We then press Y to read the text in here on all chapters. So we click About Idlis, and this gives us two further options, how it's made and how it's served. Make sure to read both options here, so you will need to go through the first one. Then press Y again and select About Idlis, and then choose the second one. There is an achievement for reading all of these guys and it is missable, so we need to make sure we click on this and read them all. We take the bowl of water and we empty it into the pot. We pick up and place a towel on the idli plate on the right hand side. Then we take a scoop of idli batter and we place it in the idli plate. Lift the idli plate and place it into the pot. We need to rotate the plate so that the three holes line up with the gap at the bottom. The red book also shows a really good picture of this and why it's needed. With the holes lined up, we can then repeat the process, adding a towel, put more batter on the plate, then place the plate into the pot and rotate it until the holes line up with the gap again. We repeat this again for the third time and place the plate on the pot. We don't need to rotate the final one. Then we place the lid on top and turn on the burner. Once it's cooked, we remove the lid to end the cooking. And this gets us the Like It Was Yesterday achievement and also the Put Chutney achievement. So we just let the cutscene play out guys and read the text so that we know what's happening in the story and we get the background to it. And that ends chapter 1. Chapter 2 starts with another cutscene. For this next cooking task we are going to make puttu, which is a dish made with rice and coconut. We start again by opening the recipe book and we can see the steps needed there. We also need to read the additional help text at the bottom for our cumulative achievement. So we press Y to open that and then we select the storing the flour option and read through that. Now onto the actual cooking. We take the soaked rice at the top and we place it in the blender, then we switch it on. We take the blended rice and we place it into the sieve over at the right and shake the sieve over the towel. We then take the remaining lumps and place them back into the blender and switch it on again. We take the second batch of blended rice and place it in the sieve again and then shake the sieve over the towel. We then take the remaining lumps and place them back in the blender for a third time and switch it on again. Place the blended rice in the sieve again and shake over the towel. We can then lift the rice and place it in the water bowl, and this finishes the first part of the recipe. After the cutscene, we read the recipe book again. And we remember to read the additional text by pressing Y and selecting other garnishes this time. Now on to the actual cooking. We take the bowl of water and we fill the bottom of the kettle with it. We take 1 spoonful of coconut and we place it into the flash tube, and then we put 2 spoonfuls of puttu flour in. Add another 1 coconut, then another 2 puttu flour, and finally 1 more coconut. Place the lid on top, then join the flash tube to the kettle part with the water in it. Then we place the whole thing on the stove and we turn the burner on. This gets us our next achievement. Chapter 3 is basically a really long cutscene, and at the end of it you get the Hair of the Head achievement, guys. But again, if you're interested in the story, it is worth watching it. We're going to make a biryani gravy here for chapter 4 guys, but this time the recipe book is unreadable. So we press on Venba's memory bubbles above each of the items to get some clues on how to solve this. Then we press Y to make sure that we read the additional text so that we don't miss the achievement for that. This time we are selecting finding these ingredients option. Now on to the cooking itself. We add the cardamom, the bay leaves, the cloves and fennel seeds. The next steps, we do need to add these in the correct order. So we add the onion, then we add the ginger garlic paste, then the green chillies, and then the tomatoes. After the dialogue, we then need to add the salt and the 3 spices on the right. The order here doesn't really matter. Next thing we need to add is the marinated beef. And last of all, we add the water to complete the gravy part of the recipe. After the short cutscene, we move on to part 2 of this recipe, where we do the layered part of the biryani. We start by opening the recipe book and read through what's in there. We then click Venba's memory bubble again to try and remember the missing steps from the recipe book. We then press Y so that we don't miss that achievement for the extra text. This time we select the types of biryanis option. We lift the red bowl and scoop out some of the beef, then place the bowl back down, pick up the rice and pour some into the pot. Add the rest of the beef from the red bowl to the pot, and then we add the remaining rice. Finish off by adding all of the remaining ingredients in any order. Then we place the lid on the pot to complete the dish. Once this is cooked, this will get us the family beef achievement. The cooking part of chapter 5 is pretty self-explanatory, guys, and you can't really mess it up. So we just use the left stick here to make these swirls. Once they're in the frying pan and once each one is ready, it will start to flash and we just click it. to remove it from the pan. When the third one flashes, we click that and that finishes the first of these dishes. The second dish, we just add the batter to the pan. Then we add a scoop from the second bowl into each part of the pan as well. We flip them when they start to flash by clicking on them. And finally we click on them again to remove them when they flash again. And this completes the second dish. For the third dish, we score the fish on each side 3 times by pressing A. Then we add the marinade to both sides. Cook it on both sides by pressing A to flip it. Then remove it once it starts to flash. And that completes the third dish. The fourth dish, we simply add each of the ingredients as they appear. The fifth dish, we remove the pressure weight from the pot when it boils. Then we add in the coconut. And then finally the leaves to complete this one. The sixth dish, we rotate each of the chicken pieces as they flash. to let us know that it's cooked. And once we complete this, up pops our achievement. There is also a final achievement to get here before we end this chapter, guys. When Venba's phone buzzes, we need to scroll all the way to the very top of the messages and then all the way back down again. This bit of the story is actually quite sad. We see that Venba is now on her own, and the meal that we just spent all that time preparing for her son during chapter 5 goes to waste as he doesn't show up. As long as we scroll to the very top of the messages and back down to the bottom, the Silicon Heartbreak achievement will pop when the chapter ends. Chapter 6 starts with an achievement right at the very beginning. Kevin is messaging back and forth with a colleague. Once he sends his final message about checking his mother's recipe book, make sure to scroll all the way to the top of his messages, guys, and scroll all the way back down again, same as what we did before. And this will get us the Doomscroll achievement. This one should pop right away. Kevin then uses his mum's recipe book to make an Indian chicken soup dish. We start by reading the recipe book as usual, and good luck with that one, guys, this time, as it's in Tamil, not English, but the diagram is actually really helpful. As usual, we press Y to read the additional help text to make sure that we don't miss that achievement. This time we're selecting the recipe book option. We start by placing the tamarind in the top bowl. Then we add some warm water from the kettle. We mix the bowl and then we place the sieve over the bottom bowl. Then we empty the top bowl over the sieve. We lift the sieve and hold it over the top bowl to drop the tamarind back in, and we repeat the process of adding water, stirring, then sieving a total 3 times. Remembering to have the sieve in place each time on the bottom bowl. The second part of the recipe needs to be done in a set order. We start by reading the recipe book again, and Kevin tries to translate it into English. Remember to press Y for the additional help text for that achievement, guys, this time selecting the About Soups option. We want to pick up the mustard seeds here first and drop it in, and then the cumin and drop that in. Next we take the red chili peppers and then the green curry leaves. Next we add the shallots and then the garlic ginger. Then we add the tomatoes, then the bowl of water, finally we add the salt, and then the rasam powder. Once this is cooked, a cutscene from Kevin's memory plays out. We then start the third part of the recipe. I press Y here, but there's no additional text, guys. We just need to add the water, the turmeric, the salt, and finally the chicken to the pot. Place the pot lid on top and then fit the pressure weight to the pot lid and we're good to go. Then we click the burner to turn it on. Once that's cooked, we can remove the weight. Take the pot and empty it into the pan on the stove. Then we add the coriander. This gets us the taking stock achievement and pretty much ends the chapter after this cutscene finishes. In this final chapter, Kevin cooks 3 different kinds of dozas. Venba's with him here, so he doesn't need the recipe book this time, but you do still need to press Y to read each of those additional text messages. So we press Y and select the About Dozas option and read through that. Following Venba's instructions, we pour some water on the stove to cool it, and we turn the temperature down. We can then put some batter mixture on the stove and spread it around using the left stick. Then we add some oil and turn the temperature back up. When the dosa turns brown, we can flip it using the dosa flipper and then put it on the plate using the flipper again once it's brown on the other side. We then move on to the second doser. Don't forget to press Y and select healthier modifications this time, guys. Starting off the same as the first doser, we add the water to the stove, turn down the temperature, and then we add some batter. The toppings part here has a missable achievement, guys. We need to add the ghee first, the carrots, the onions, and the idli powder, but do not add the green chilies or you will miss the achievement. Turn the temperature back up. Then we can use the doser flipper once it's cooked. And as long as we've not included the chilies, up pops the achievement for making the doser without them. Finally, we move on to the curry or meat doser. Don't forget to press Y for the additional text, and this time we select what does curry mean option. Starting off the same as the first two dosers, we add the water to the stove, turn down the temperature, and then add some batter. Again, we need to add the ghee first, then the beaten eggs, then the curry, and then finally the coriander. Turn the temperature back up, then we can use the doser flipper once it's cooked on that side, and use it again to lift it off. If you've remembered to click on all of the additional help text on each chapter, the flavour text achievement will pop up here. The Pavalan Would Be Proud achievement will also pop up here, as long as you got the Silicon Heartbreak, Doomscroll and flavour text achievements up to this point. Then the Queen of the Six States achievement will also pop, as long as you have completed all of the recipes without making any mistakes. And finally, the Fermented Feelings achievement will also pop for successfully cooking all of those dosers. There is still one final achievement to get that involves us repeating chapter 2 and making a specific mistake with the recipe. So once this final cutscene plays out to the end of the game, we'll jump back into chapter 2 using chapter select, and we'll grab that to get all 15 of the achievements. Once the game has ended, we can go to chapter section and select chapter 2 in there. Unfortunately, you're going to have to click through the cutscene again, guys. I've just edited that part out to save a bit of time. We put the rice in the blender as before, move it over to the sieve. And then we shake the sieve over the towel again, and we repeat this 3 times as we did before. Then we place the rice in the water. We need to click on the recipe book again to get started. Then we click the water and add it to the kettle as before, but this time we do the exact opposite from what we done the first time. We start with 1 scoop of Puttu flour, then 2 coconuts, then 1 Puttu flour, then 2 coconuts, then 1 Puttu flour, put the lid on the tube, then attach it to the base and we switch on the stove. And as soon as this collapses, we get our 15th and final achievement. Congratulations guys, you've 100% completed the game and earned yourself 1000 gamer score. I hope you enjoyed watching and found the video useful. I'd really appreciate you supporting the channel by hitting the like and the subscribe button guys, that would mean a lot. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.